This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so even I have taken the new workspace. Okay, why? Because even my workspace is something like loading issue was there yesterday. So I thought like creating a new workspace. So even I have created a new brand new workspace just like you guys. Okay, so let me create anyhow. I am again creating the project. Okay, whatever I have done last, that thing only I am doing here. Okay, this is the project name. The voice is clear, right?
Yes, your voice is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Debut yesterday, I think it's created like a problem. Yeah. Today, any newcomers, new joinees are there? No, right? Okay. So creation of project already. Vamsi, are you a new member? Okay, fine. So as I discussed yesterday, so for any meal project, it contains like number of folders. So yesterday it is something like cracks and audio was not that much good. So just I am repeating once again. Now the thing is like okay, when we create a project, as we discussed earlier, there will be like there is some Jetty server. That Jetty server is nothing but MuleSoft server, right? That MuleSoft server will also be there. So many folders we can able to see. Don't touch anything on this. Why? Because Jetty server will be running at project level. For unit testing purpose, this will be useful. And remaining things we know like it is a mule flows, right? Mule flows, all mule flows will be stored inside this folder. And the donkey icon, as I have explained earlier, so the MuleSoft has to indicate like with the introduction of MuleSoft, all the donkey work has been removed. So they want to showcase that, so that is the reason they have given the icon as donkey. If you see like donkey icon will be there. Okay. So in the and in any project we contain three tabs: message flow, global elements, configuration, file. So three elements are there, right? Three elements, three tabs will be there. Okay. As I discussed in the last class, already we have discussed, right? Already we have discussed like flow will be there, and for each flow, any flow will contain source and process, right? Source and process is the two tabs that contains in each flow, right? That also we have discussed, but just I am repeating so that even others can understand. Okay, I am directly dragging and dropping listener. Okay, that is not the right way. First we have to drag and drop flow. Even though if you drag and drop directly also it works, no harm in that. But best thing, as we are like very new to this world, better to create from flow. Okay, so let me delete this flow for now. Let me delete it. Okay, first search for flow. One project can contain any number of flows. As I stated earlier, last time also I have stated the same thing. These flows can contain one project can contain one configuration file. One donkey icon file can contain any number of flows. Okay, as this is hello flow, I will keep it like hello flow. Okay, and each flow contains source, process, error handling. And I also explained like in source we will be keeping the source could be anything like how we want to expose. We want to MuleSoft wants to expose the URL to the source system, so we have to give the URL. So that is the reason we have to frame our own URL. For framing it, definitely we need listener. We need listener for framing our own URL. So in source, as I said, source we are exposing, so we are keeping a listener. Otherwise, it could be a database adapter, it could be a file, it could be FTP, it could be anything, MQ, anything could be there. But as of now, in the first example, we want to see it on the we are assuming like Mule is exposing the URL. That is the reason I am dragging and dropping listener for that, for tracking the data. Oh, sockets all I am taking. So listener means again so many listeners are there. Don't get confused. As we want to expose HTTP URL, so better to drag and drop all of your listeners. Okay. So yeah, this is the one. Okay. Get data. Anything we can give, but if we give any space, this will not agree. Yes, get data. So if it receives the information, two arrows indicates like it will be receiving the data. After processing, whatever the processed data is there, it gives back that data. Okay, that is the functionality of listener, which we have already seen. And also we have seen, see, nodes always helps to give information about the flow. That last in the last class I'm repeating why, because I created new project, so just again I'm just giving heads up. Help means we know it already, like oh, if you want to know it like about the HTTP listener, yes, you can go to MuleSoft documentation. Other types slowly I will what all these tabs I will explain. No worries. As of now, first to listen like how we are framing the URL. Okay, so here is like connector. As soon as we are dragging and dropping the listener, it is asking for a connection details. So click on plus, and yeah, currently I want to run it on my local system. My local system on my desktop, on my laptop I want to run. So that is the reason I have given localhost, and I have given the port name as 8081. First, any when you are establishing any connection, we have to test it first. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay. Let us test it. First, we have to get it as success. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay. Test is successful. Yes. As I said, this is just like apartment address, and this is something like separator, right? This is just like a flat number, right? For each and every flow needs to have some particular address. Okay, so I am keeping the address name as help. Okay, so this is the address which I have given for this flow. As I said, one project can contain any number of flows. See, if I want to call this flow, I will be calling with this URL. If I want to call another flow, which is there in the same project, then I can call it as with that name. So this will not change. The root connection will not change. The separators can be, right? So see, one more flow. I can able to create. I'm saying like safe flow. So in the real time, it could be like account flow, order flow. It could be anything. Okay. This is listener. I can give the separator as safe. So say this is safe flow. So one project can contain n number of flows. Any number of flows we can have in one project. If you keenly observe, see this is like hello flow and this is safe flow. Here at the top it is indicating star. Star indicates that the file has not been saved. What you have to do is like go to this TV icon and save it. Then the file will be saved. Okay. Then the file will be saved. Now coming to this configuration file, see in the message flow, all the UI things you can see. You can drag and drop all the activities and you can do it. But if you go to configuration, this is nothing but whatever you have dragged and dropped over here. Whatever you have dragged and dropped over here. Go. Okay. So configuration, if you go to this configuration, whatever you have done it over here, hello flow is there, safe flow. In the form of XML, it will be stored in the Excel, in the configuration file. See, this is hello flow, this is safe flow. So what is the meaning? Whatever here you are doing, that will be replicated in configuration file. That is one key observation. And for each flow, one unique ID is getting generated. That means it has to identify, right? The project has to identify like those are different flows. So for identifying that, it is at the back end, it is creating one unique ID. Okay. So if you see the listener, whatever the get data I have given, that get data it has. And I am referring HTTP listener configuration, that configuration, the separator slash hello I have given. So that is that slash hello, it is in the form of XML, in the form of path separator, it is showcased. That is what the beauty is. See, in the whatever here we are doing, the same thing got reflected here. And if you change, see, I will change from safe flow to greeting flow. Okay, GREETING, greeting flow. And if you save it, and if you go back to your message flow, whatever the name you have updated, that name will be reflected. That name is getting reflected. So message flow and configuration is one and same. This will be in the form of UI. This will be in the form of XML. That's all. Okay. So this is about these two tabs. And coming to the global elements, see HTTP listener, whatever the connection, whatever the apartment address, just like when I am explaining, I said like this is an apartment address, right? So whatever the address it is there, this address is, we are using globally. See these two, if you observe these two flows, this till here, whatever the address is there, this is a common address. So the common addresses will be saved in global elements. Long story short, any connection details can be saved in global configuration elements. So here in this case, my HTTP listener is the connection, right? HTTP listener is the connection details. This is my connection details, right? This is my connection details. So these connection details is common to both the flows. right? So that is the reason it got saved in global elements. So long story short, all the connections which we are going to establish, those will be saved in global elements. Hope you understood. Anybody is having any doubt, right? You guys are clear. Ashita, Gopi, Nagendra, Pooja, right? I think you guys are clear on this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, fine. So now, as of now, this is about source. Okay. So come down now. Come down. Come down. So okay, let me first write down one. I have an activity called set payload. Set payload in the sense, what is the meaning of set payload is if you want to keep any static value. If you want to keep any static value. So in this, I will just keep like hello world. Welcome to MuleSoft. Hello, hello. Welcome to MuleSoft training. Just that static value I want to give. If you want to give any static values in Mule, then you can use this set payload. Okay. So set payload is nothing but I'm setting some value, just a hard coded value. Setting hard coded value. Here I'm writing, okay, hard coded value for understanding. So how it works and everything I will let you know, but yeah, for time being, just try to just understand. So this is the set payload activity, and the set payload activity looks like this, and you can uncheck this fx. Okay, uncheck this fx. What is the meaning of that fx? I will let you know. What exactly the fx work, how it works, that I will let you know. But as of now, don't take anything. Just you uncheck it and you just write it as welcome to Mule4 Train. Okay, just I have kept that message. Okay, so now I am thinking like if somebody hits this url, if somebody hitting this flow, that this flow has to, this flow gives should give the response as whatever the value we have set it over here, this value it has to send back. Okay, so in my example, I have taken like my source system will be, I will be giving this URL to source system and source system will be hitting the URL, right? In my example, I told in that way. But to be frank, in the training, in the in the training, it is very problem like we cannot bring the Siebel system, we cannot bring the Amazon system, right? That is that we have to agree. We can assume it, but we cannot bring, right? Okay, that is one point. So systems we cannot bring, we have to assume that, we have to keep that in mind. Okay, and now come on, now we have created one flow. How we need to test? We have to test it, right? We have to test the flow. So whether my flow is working properly or not, first I have to test it. Without testing by myself, without testing, I cannot give this URL to them. I have to unit test. Am I right? Am I right or wrong? I have to unit test, right?
Yes, right.
Yes.
Yes.
So for unit testing, first this application needs to be deployed. We cannot directly unit test. Yeah, hey, I have written, like I have dragged and dropped so many activities, and just if you are sitting and looking at them, nobody will understand. Definitely, there is a need, like you have to test. For unit testing, what first you have to do? What is the prerequisite? First, you have to deploy your application. Deploy your API. So in MuleSoft terminology, everything will be like API, API, API. Deploy your API to the server. So in this case, I will be deploying it to JT server, which is nothing but a inbuilt server, right? We will be deploying to our local server. And after deploying, now this URL will be available. After deploying only, we can test this. Without deploying, we cannot test this URL. After deploying, we can invoke this. You can invoke this URL and we can test it. In the safe flow, actually, I have to be frank. I have not configured anything. Okay. Okay. I don't want to confuse as of now. I want to comment this flow. You can comment this flow directly. You can select this flow, right click, toggle comment. So if you do that, the whole flow will get commented. Okay, you save it and you just go to your configuration file, try to observe. See, this is the comments. Whatever is in sky blue color, it is like some gray value, it is appearing, right? This is commented now. So that flow I have commented. Now that will not work as of now. Okay, whenever is required, I will just uncomment it. Long story short, I'm just showcasing how to comment in MuleSoft. In order to showcase that, I just I have right click, I have right clicked, and I have kept like comment. If you toggle comment means again, if the flow will like the comments will be removed. If you just test it, if you just right click and toggle comment means it will again it goes into comments, so that the code will be there, but it will not work. Okay, fine. Let me save that. Let me save it. And yes, as I said, after deploying only, you can test this URL. From where you can invoke this URL? The next thing is that question. Okay, deployment means anyhow, whatever the server I have, if every project is having one server, to that server I can deploy it. Yeah, till there it is good. But testing, how I need to do? I have to call this URL from somewhere, right? So in MuleSoft, most of the time we will be using Postman for testing APIs. Most of the time, testing is there. Advanced REST client is also there. Okay, anything like so many tools are there for testing. SOAP UI is there. So many tools are there. But most of the time, very frequently, we will use Postman. From where you will get this Postman? Again, from where you will get this Postman? You have to go to your browser, go to your Google, just go to your Google, and you can search with Postman download. Free download of free download of Postman. Okay, just click on this in the browser. You will be getting some URLs. You just click on this, download that, and open it. So it also like depends. If it is like Windows Wala you have to do. Okay, Windows you have to do. If it is like some other, you have to do. Like if it is like Mac or something else, yes, you have to do that one. Okay. Hey, I think Rahman has not joined, right? Today. Yeah. Normally we ask questions, right? So I thought like, yeah, fine. Download. We have to download the Postman, and you have to open it. So if you are facing any problems, just to see here in YouTube also it is showing how to do it. You can do that. Okay, you can download it and you can just install it and you can open directly. I have already installed. I have already Postman in my system. So yeah, I am opening it. Just right click and run as administrator is the best approach. Already it is opened in my case, so I am just opening it. Okay, yeah. Now you can open one browser. The browser looks like this. Okay, here you can, if you open this Postman, you will be seeing like so many methods. I will come to that point, no worries. I will explain each and everything. As of now, take it as a get method, and URL is which flow you want to call, this flow you want to call, right? Just copy this URL, paste it in your Postman, and just keep it ready. We have not yet deployed it. We have to deploy our application. Just we made like for testing we need one tool. That tool is nothing but Postman. How to download, where to download, how to download, that I have showcased you. As it is already installed in my, already it is there in my system, so I have opened directly. But in your case, you have to you have to download and you have to do it manually. Okay, now this is fine. Now go to your studio where you have written your API. Right click on that. See, here you have two options. One is run project, one is debug option. So go to click on run. So it starts deploying to your Jetty server, which is a local server. It starts deploying. See, if you see the project, so it starts deploying here. It will take some time. Okay, it takes some time.
Yeah, Nitya.
Yes.
Yeah, does it deploy without creating RAML part?
No. This is like we are very basics, right? We are into very basics. So first I am doing like normally without creating ramals. Ramals will be like on later on sessions we will be discussing. This is just like hello world, right? Got it, Nagendra? I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, Nitya.
Yeah. Well, because every year so many freshers are also there. Even they have to understand. Ramal is something like after like few days, after 10 classes, like we will be starting. Okay.
Okay.
Mm, fine. Let it deploy as it is like in the workspace is new workspace, so it takes bit time. Okay, it is deployed. You could see the message as deployed now, right? It is deployed. You could see it is deployed. Open your Postman. Just hit it. If you are hitting that URL, it will go to that flow and it brings the message back. See the beauty. So this URL we will try to give it to our source system here. Okay. This URL, this is nothing but here I have written like the abc.com. It is nothing but localhost 8081/hello that I will be giving it to my Siebel people. That Siebel people in their submit button, in their UI in submit button they will configure, and when they hit it, it reaches to the mail and it will process. And whatever the logic here we have written, that logic it will execute and the response will be again sent back to the caller. Are you guys are clear on this? Are you guys clear?
Yes, Nitya.
Oh, yeah, hope you are pretty much clear. Now we will try to understand. Okay, so it is very straightforward. Just whenever I am giving, just it is giving back and it is giving the message. Okay, but in the set payload, what I have done is like set payload. What I have done, I have removed this fx. Right, I have removed this fx. I have uncommented this fx, and I have written it. And whatever I have written in In double quotations I have written, the same double quotations, it is displaying the message. And if you observe, the status is 200 and okay, the time taken to execute this API is this much, okay, this much, and the size, the response which it came back is 102 bytes. So all this information very intelligently this postman will capture, and it will give us. That is the beauty here. That is one of the beauty I can see. Okay. Now, what is the difference between FX and without FX? What is FX here? What is FX here? If I select FX, what is going to happen? If I am not selecting this FX, what is going to happen? That we need to understand. For the FX stands for Mule Expression Language. That we have to understand. Mule Expression Language. So if I am selecting this FX means I am enabling Mule Expression Language. For any software or any tool, when you are learning, specific to that tool, some settings will be there. One of the setting is like this Mule Expression Language. So by enabling this, what is going to happen is like, if we can see for example, if I am selecting this, okay, so it went to green color. If I am selecting this, if you see the right side here, you could see the attributes. See, you can see many attributes: HTTP, listener, version, schema, method, which method. So the method in the sense whatever here I am invoking, I am using with get method. So that get method will be tracked in the properties. So if I am enabling this FX means I can take the ability or capability of properties. Long story short, I can access the properties of Mule API. If I am not selecting this, I will not have that access. Definitely, I cannot access it. Even though it is appearing over here, I cannot access. It is just like a plain string. It is a plain string, that's all. It is a string, that's all. If I want to use, if I want to get some, if I want to make use of the properties, then definitely you have to enable. See, here if I am saying like a attributes dot, see, under attributes is something I need it. Attributes, if I am selecting this, if I are clicking like attributes dot, it appears, it enables so many properties. So whatever I want to use, whatever I need, I need something like query params or URI param. This is required for me. I can select it. If you are unchecking this, that properties of Mule, you will not have the access. You will not have the access of Mule properties. If you want to have its access, then definitely you have to check this and you have to make use of it. So in the Mule expression language, if it is like hard-coded value, if I am writing without quotations means it will error out. See, if I am writing in this way, welcome to Mule 4, okay, see, it is showing red mark, it is showing red color, at the bottom it is showing red color. So expression language always expects in double quotations. So whatever, if you want to write any hard-coded value, here I am not using any properties of Mule. As of now, I am not using anything. Like in the coming session, slowly I will be injecting. Normally, I am keeping a string message only. I am keeping only a string message. That string message, like in double quotations, I am keeping. Okay. And one beautiful thing is like my application is currently deployed, right? Everybody is able to see it is deployed. Now I made the change. What change I have made? I have enabled this FX and I am saying like welcome to Mule 4. Okay. Otherwise, I will change. Like if I keep previous message again, you will be hello. Like this message I am keeping, and that actually what I'm trying to say is like I have modified something in the API. Okay. Normally in other technologies, what you have to do is like you have to stop your server. You have to stop your server through this red button, and you have to redeploy once again. Why? Because you have changed something in the API, and definitely it requires a redeployment. For that redeployment, you have to stop your server and you have to redeploy it. But in case of Mule, one beautiful thing is like, even though if you have changed anything, you just nothing. You just enable, you just click on this console After clicking on this, go to your TV icon, save it. Automatically the jar will get updated without redeployment. That is one beautiful thing. Okay, so wait for a few seconds. I have just saved it. It takes bit time to update. See, build automatically is selected. Build automatically is selected. So it has to deploy. It has to take. It has to update it. Why it is not happening? Normally it happens. Check in your Anypoint Studio as well. It will do it. If I click on this, automatically the jar will get updated. That is somehow in my studio it is not running properly. Control S, again I'm clicking on Control S. Let me check the timing whether it has updated by itself or not. What is the time? 9:04. Here now it is 9:13. Okay, somehow the studio is not working. But in your studio, please try. Enable this console. Please save it. Save it. Then you will be seeing a message like it is updating the jar. Somehow here it is missing. Okay, let me restart my application. Somehow that is a problem in my workspace, I guess. But that will not be the case in your systems, right? Because you have opened the Anypoint Studio with brand new, right? That I guess you will be seeing it. If you are in front of your Anypoint Studios, just whatever I said, just try to do it. You can observe that. It is deploying. It is deploying. Yes, it is deployed. Now again hit that API. See, hello, how are you? Now we are getting it as hello, how are you, which I have configured in the by enabling fx, which is mule expression. In mule expression, long story short, we can keep the static value, hard coded value in that way. And if I disable, like either in quotations or if you are using quotations or without using quotations, it will work without. I mean, it will work. It will work as a normal string. Okay, when you are disabling the fx. That is one thing. Now we will try to observe the properties of listener. So as I said, like here in listener, if you click on listener, you will be seeing so many things, right? We are seeing general. In general, okay, we can give the display name, we can give our connection details, and the separator we are giving it. So in the next tab is MIME type. MIME type. So what is this MIME type? What exactly this will do? Sometimes what happens is like when my source system is hitting my mule, whenever it is hitting mule, we can keep the restriction. Hey, Sibyl, if you are hitting my API, try to send only, try to send input only in XML, or try to send it in only JSON. Try to send it in text. So that kind of validation, we can keep it in view. So whenever the request comes here if I am selecting like JSON, so the request the request that is expected by this API is only JSON. So I am keeping restriction. Hey, other than JSON, don't send me anything. If you are sending anything, I will not process. So the byte type indicates the type of data that API is going to receive. Okay. So you may get doubt. So from where I will get this information? This information you will be getting through your technical specification document. So whenever the TS is given for a developer to develop an API, there it will mention the input will be JSON or XML or TXT or whatever. So accordingly, whatever they mention, accordingly you will be selecting over here. Okay, if you are not selecting anything, means this API will take any kind of data. If I am sending, if I am sending any junk data through body, if I am sending anything, any data, either text or JSON or XML, anything it will take. If I'm keeping the restriction in my API, means it will accept only that data. Otherwise, it will not process. The request will not be moved forward. That is the use of method. Redelivery. Redelivery in the sense, see, my source system is going to hit my URL, but but somehow in Mule something has happened and it is down. So these people are not able to access this URL. This URL in the sense, in this case, this URL. Somehow this URL is down. Why? Because my API, something has happened in my server, and somehow that is down, and it is not able to take the requests. At that time, we will give the option to the source system to reconnect, to redeliver. Okay, try once, second, third time, fourth time. Like that, if I whatever the number if I keep now, that many times it will retry, and finally after that retry also, if it is not up means, then it will display the error. Okay, have you got the point? You're trying to understand, right? That we will call it as redelivery. Redelivery means it tries to redeliver the message again and again to the process. Something has happened to my new server, and somehow the URL is not able to reach. So the source system, the people who are calling my URL, we are setting one option like, hey, try this with 4 times or 5 times, whatever the number here we will give. Try that many times. Okay. If at all it is not connected, then an error message will be thrown to them. If at all it is connected, means the request will process. So responses. Coming to the responses. Responses is nothing but whatever here, what processed data, it is the processed data is going as a payload in the response payload. Okay. So if any error is occurring, it will go like error description. So in detail, we will study on these responses. As of now, don't get confused. It is nothing but whatever we have processed in the process layer, that data will be taken back. So in this case, my processed data is this value. This value. So my payload contains this value. Payload is nothing but the one which contains the processed value. Whatever the element, whatever the value that holds the Mule API, that value will be there in the payload, and the same thing will be sent to our like postman. Are you guys are clear on this? No confusion, right? So in the advanced, whenever we are doing with any Mule APIs, we will be always playing with methods only. Get method means get data. Post method means we are inserting the data to the target system. Delete data means we are deleting something from the target system. Update means we are updating some information in the target system. So Mule will connect to the target system, and it will perform some operation. It will perform some operation on the data. So what you want to perform at the API level, you will be mentioning. In this case, I'm not deleting. I don't want to update anything. I'm not at all connecting any target system over here yet. It is just only a hello world program. I'm not connecting to any one of them. Any of them I'm not connecting. So as per my knowledge, this URL which I'm going is get method. Why? Because I want to get some data. I want to get some data and I want to display it over here. That is the reason I have selected get method. If you want to insert something, whatever the data you are getting from source system, you will do some process, you will do write some logic, and you will push that data to the target system. To SAP you will be sending. In that case, you have to select post method. So always, like any REST APIs will be revolving around methods. There are so many methods will be there, but you will be using get or post. Put is delete means we know it. Okay, put is something like update method. So most frequently these methods we will be using. Other methods, even though it is there, we will not use it. In my experience, at least I have not used any others other than these. Okay, so the API, whatever the work the API is going to do, that method you have to select. By default, if you have not written anything, means it will assume like either a get method or a post method. Default one is get method only. Okay, it assumes like if I'm nothing, it was mentioned over here. Here I have not mentioned anything. So it will assume like, okay, these people is calling either a get method or a post method. It will think like that. Okay. And whatever the data it is going to receive, that data also here it is mentioned. 512 or KB. So how much data this API can able to receive or able to process, that also here we can give. Okay, if you are sending if you are sending, if the data from the source system is like in GBs, select the GB, so that my API will handle it. So it is nothing but the information, basic information that we need to give to our API. Okay, so what kind of data it is getting, whether JSON or XML, that we have to take care. How much data it is coming, that spaces, if you are keeping that size value, if you are keeping, is well and good. It indicates like if I am getting more than 512 bytes, then it will not process. So all these are restrictions, so that we are just keeping, hey, my API will take this much only, my API will receive this much only. So try to send within that limit. That kind of restrictions we are keeping on my API. Metadata I will discuss that later. You will confuse if I explain now. So are you guys are clear till this point, at least? Are you guys are clear?
Yes, Nitya.
Yes, Nitya.
Yeah, you are clear, right? Okay. So what you can do is,
Nitya, I have a doubt actually. Uh, you
yeah,
said
yes, please go ahead.
the memory size, right? So
Hmm.
the memory size, like the project details they will be giving, or we have to know that
No,
this
no,
way.
no. API, all these details architect will track. See, this API is going to receive this much. The architect will give, and technical specification document it contains definitely. If it does not contains, means default 512 only it will be there.
Okay, we will be having all information, right?
All the information it will be. Why? Because
Okay.
you are developers, only you will be developing it. But architects, they know the business, right? How much payload they may
Yes.
get, that request payload
Okay.
for each request processing. That information during requirements phase only, the architect will take care of it. Okay. But
Okay.
as a developer, we should know it where to set now. So all this
Yes.
is I am keeping restrictions on my API. So everybody should not send. See, if it is high, if the data is very small, but you are keeping in GB, that is not the right thing, right? We are keeping
Yes.
some restrictions. Hey, send this only, this much only, with this method only. Okay, the
Yeah.
kind of data should be like JSON. Or we are keeping the restrictions with our own, so that
Okay.
our API will be like work properly.
Done.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, fine, guys, fine. Okay, so for today I have done it. Try to explore. Like after 2 to 3 classes, like we will be like after 2 to 3 classes, I will be giving homeworks as well. First, I will give some basics, and later on, POCs will get increased for you. Only this week you will have some breathing time. Okay. So what you can do is like you try to keep one more set payload, try to keep some static value, try to invoke it from your postman, try to observe what output you are getting. That thing today you can do after your practice.
Okay.
Are you guys are you guys are getting my point? Just like
Yes, Nitya.
observation, not like POC. It is just an observation. What is your observation? You have to tell me in the next class. Okay. Keep
Okay.
another set payload. Keep some other static value, some hard coded value you keep it. Deploy it. Try to check what output you're getting. And tell tomorrow you can tell me. Okay. Is that fine?
Yeah, sure, Nitya.
Yes. Are the classes you're understanding the classes? You're clear? Am I clear? Like I'm injecting into your brains or not? Need some feedback. Otherwise, I'll change maybe of teaching.
It's good, Nitya.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good. Yes. Okay, nice. Tomorrow, same timings, same link. Okay. If any changes, the admin is going to post. Okay. Coming to this WhatsApp group, I think it takes 1 or 2 days time. Why? Because for finalizing, a few more people are also looking, so that they are looking for combining it. But as of now, I don't think you have any issues. Why? Because you are able to get all the videos. So there is no showstopper from institute side, right? That is what my understanding is. Today also they will upload it. Try to verify. Okay, after a couple of
Thank you,
hours.
Nitya.
Okay, guys. Chalo. Thank you. Have a nice day.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.